Hello, Cancer. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. So, we have the Emperor. You can see him right here. Yeah, I mean, a good archetype, right? It's a nice energy to receive. One of command, right? One of leadership, of knowing. The thing about the Emperor that I like the most, and maybe I relate to this a little bit as mom, is that this is the dude that has to make hard decisions, even when they know it's gonna make everybody mad, or it's going to cause a little bit of chaos, or whatever it is, making the hard choices, because we're looking at the bigger picture. We're not looking at the right now, we're looking at the longevity of the thing. The Emperor, the Empress is all about legacy, about building something that is lasting. But not only that, knowing how to operate the dang system, that needs to be in place to keep this thing going. Okay? So, good energy. Good energy. Especially if you're somebody that likes to be kind of like in a management role or administrative role, or, having to delegate and that kind of thing. So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to knock, knock, knock. And we will see what these tea leaves have to say. Now, I just want to mention, I always pick a card for every reading. I don't pick it, I pull it. I'm not planning what it's going to be. I pull a card and it kind of sets the tone, right? It gives us a little bit of a peek at the energy that might be lingering. So now we're going to take a look at the actual formations in the teacup. And I want to say thank you for clicking on this reading and deciding to hang out and see what Spirit has to say. I want to look right here. Okay, so we have a person who is seated. You can see the head right here. You can see an arm kind of raised up. Now here would be the knee right in this area. So kind of in the seated position. Below the seat, it looks like we have a spider. We also have a little star. And up here we have a person who is holding what looks like a fish. Okay, one that maybe is jumping. Now, on the other hand, we have this repeated. It looks very much like the Cancer symbol, right? It looks like the 6 and the 9, kind of, yin yang kind of vibes going on. Well, the fish represents resources in my readings. That is how I read any kind of fish, not every fish, but most fish that come up in here. It's about making money, right? It's about having access to money, the ability to make money, the ability to manage money, and do the things that you have to do with that money, right? Hopefully save some, build upon it, right? So we have this person who's seated, which is not unlike the Emperor, right? Empress also seated, High Priestess seated, Hierophant is not seated, but these are archetypes that are enthroned. What does that mean? They're sitting on these elevated chairs. They're in a position of not only power, but the ability to still retain power while also being in a vulnerable posture, which is a seated posture. So that, symbolically really represents that there is it is a solid place, right? Nobody is questioning if you are the one that should be in the leadership role, because you're there, right? You've earned your way on up. And so here I'm seeing that, and this almost, yeah. So here I'm seeing that with the spider and the star, now the spider represents the dream weaver. This is the grandmother of the sky, right? The goddess of, or the spider goddess. And she weaves all of our dreams together. Now the star, which is also in the sky, right, is our goals. If you can imagine going out at night, looking up at the stars, wishing, praying, hoping, asking, making appeals, even just contemplating what is next. You know, what are the dreams I used to have when I was younger? You know, what is it that I really want now? So I see this being as such an auspicious mixture of different symbols. So we have a dream of getting into a place where you have control in your life. You want to be making the money that you know that you need to sustain the vision that you have for yourself. Now I see you being somebody who is able to not only have those dreams, you're very creative in that way, but you're also very innovative and skilled. You know how to get this thing going. You know how to take all of the pieces, right? All of those different variables, all of the ingredients, all of the things that you've worked so hard to obtain, and you put them together, you weave them into this beautiful thing that helps you. It is a vehicle to get you to that goal that you want to meet. And I see this as being the year where that really begins to happen, where you are going to really see the output of the hard work that you've been doing. Okay? So I do feel that there maybe has been a little bit of resistance in your life. Now, maybe this is that you have a family, and immediately I thought of this for my own example of how this might be feeling is, I'm married, right? I'm married to the guy, the man, the wonder that runs Dove and Serpent Tarot. That's my husband, Paul, over there. A lot of you know that. A lot of you know both of us. A lot of you watch both of our channels, or maybe you watch his channel and you've come over here because he's mentioned me, and I appreciate that greatly. Thank you. But when, you know, we were married before all of this, before we started these channels, and we had our family and our life together, and we were just normal, you know, working entry-level type jobs people, right? And he came up with this idea. I want to start doing readings, videos, putting them on YouTube. And I thought, okay, cool. Well, I'm glad that you have like a hobby, or, you know, I don't know if people actually do anything on YouTube. Like if it actually, you know, if people make money or can actually, you know, make a business out of such things. And I was a bit of a naysayer. I admit that. I didn't really, you know, think too much of it until I saw that he started to really enjoy what he was doing. And a couple months later, then I started my channel, or a few months later. And I started to see, like, we both have these talents for running the business, for all of the behind the scenes stuff that goes along with YouTube or creating content, which is the bulk of what this is for us on our side. And then doing the readings, which are amazing, right? Just, I couldn't believe how much fun it is, and how, you know, I don't know. I did not even have it within me to fathom that all of this could come together. But it did. And it has, knock on wood. It will continue to do so. So sometimes, right, no matter what anybody says, no matter how people in our lives feel, or if they are kind of resistant about things, you just keep doing what you know is going to work out for you, because you, Cancer, have such an ability to see the big picture. Very much like our Emperor. You're not just looking at the right now. You're not just looking at the how is this going to help today or, tomorrow. No, you're thinking about, how am I going to build something so that I can give my child a good life? How am I going to build something so that one day I have something to, leave for my people here, right? And you're amazing at that. And I feel like this is that doorway. The door's already open. You've already gotten the key. You've got the thing open. You have the idea. You have begun the work. And now I see you really in this prime of your ability. Your vision is so on point. And I see this cycle being one of the most important cycles of your life. And you might be sitting there thinking, yeah, right. What the heck are you talking about? I'm struggling like everybody's struggling. I understand. I hear you. It is not perfect, right? Even in our best times, when things are really going in our favor, we're always going to have things, right? We're always going to have failures and mishaps and not feeling like this is exactly what I envisioned or, whatever. But I see you really rising into this archetype, this position, this posture of leading yourself the way you want through your life, not living by other people's ideas of how the world should be, or how you should be living, or what you should be doing, or that's too risky, that's not going to work, are you kidding, that's just a daydream, all these things. No, you will not hear it. You will not hear it. And those kind of language hexes will not take hold. They will not prosper. I'm doing a little prayer here for you right now. They shall not prosper. All right. So we also have, it looks like it says E and an F. E-F. Maybe a name. Possibly. Now we have deer. We have a deer here. We have a deer here. And this one looks more like a coyote. So we have, and we have a couple here. We have a union right down here. Look, two people kissing. Okay, so we have the wildness of the wilderness at night. Okay, can you imagine being like a deer? You're warm-blooded, hot-blooded. Right? It's just flowing through your breath as you breathe. There's steam coming out. It's chilly. It's quiet. The moon is basically missing. It's so dark. And you hear the sound of what? The coyote. The group of coyotes. And they're howling. And they're hungry. And they're wild. And you are taking off through the forest. Fast. Alive. Sometimes it does. It takes a little fear. Sometimes it takes the feeling of pursuit, of needing to outrun something to get us going. I'm not saying that we should always operate from this place, especially like I'm somebody that has anxiety, so I don't love it, but I do know the feeling. Right? Now, you can think of it in a more human example. Imagine your house. Not a complete disaster. Messy. Okay? Your mother-in-law. She calls you. Your best friend from kids drop off, she calls you. Somebody that you care about their opinion, they call you and they say, hey, can I stop by for a second? I got you a coffee. I just wanted to visit for a minute. I'll be over in 5 minutes. And what do? You jump up. That feeling right there. I better get this place cleaned up. And never have you cleaned so quickly. Never have you put away the dishes in the dishwasher so quickly. But it's that motivating thing. It is that I cannot think about anything but getting this done right now. Okay? So let's keep that feeling. Let's keep that thought. Okay? And I see this happening in, I want to say it's a love life thing, and it could be. It could be romantic. It could be, a physical relationship, a dalliance, a lover that, you're very attached to. Maybe not so much emotionally, but it could be, right? It could be romantic. This could be very much about rekindling a friendship, a relationship with a family member, platonic, by the way, and, trying to unify once again. But I feel like there is just something lingering in here, right? And I don't know if it's like the fear of missing out on this friendship, this relationship. I don't know what the urgency is, but I see you moving swiftly here. I see you doing whatever it is that you need to do to get this thing going, to get into a place where everything starts to kind of link up. You are aligned. And I don't know what it is about right now. Maybe somebody has passed away recently, or it's the state of the world. Maybe it's you're missing having somebody, a companion. So maybe it's this particular person. You've missed them so greatly that you're going to do whatever you have to do to, have some kind of ease within the relationship so that you can be around each other, because that is worth more than, the bickering about whatever, or the old things, or, whatever it is. But I do feel like this union will be successful. There will be a coming back together. And, I think that that's going to also be a big key to your happiness and success, is finding these places that are sore within your life and making amends, or trying to begin the process of healing, processing, right? And so I feel like this is going to be something that is quite important. And, I get it. I'm definitely somebody, I don't like to have conflict in my life, but I also don't like to go backwards and dwell within old things directly. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll make amends, but I don't want to have you in my life necessarily. I don't feel like this is that. And I feel like probably, I'm just going to be real. Cancer people are my favorite people to have in my life. I'm married to one. I have a prevalence of cancer friends throughout my life. My mom was a Cancer. All of my favorite people, aside from my daughter, have been Cancers. And I know how hard it is for you to forgive. I know, and it's not out of spite necessarily. It's because you protect yourself. And once you've been crossed by somebody, or somebody has taken advantage or mistreated you or whatever, you're going to take up for yourself. You're going to take up for those you love. You are reasonable and logical, but you're not about to just let it go. right? You're also not going to dwell in the anger or the hurt forever, right? But there are the rare occasions where there's somebody who you are willing to work through the thing, right? And I feel like there's such a freedom in that. And this person must be very important because, you know, I don't see you being just about like, you know, fixing things with it, just anybody. And not only that, if you fix things, again, I think it's like you're more kind of like how I am with things. It's like, okay, we're cool. Have a nice life, right? Peace out. I'm done. But in this situation, I think, yeah, it is. There's a real want to preserve the connection. Okay. And I see that being successful for sure. Now, we have the name, or maybe it's a word, I don't know, but it looks like Izzy, maybe, or Isis, possibly. We have that right up in here. Izzy, Isis, something like that. Now, we also have Y. Ooh, I don't know how, I just knocked my own glass of Y. W-H-Y, Y. And we also have what looks like maybe like Mothman up here. And then we have what looks like a cat holding something up. So I feel like there's almost maybe... I don't feel like that there's like any kind of bad omen. I feel almost like this is more of about limit, like your thinking or your worries limiting your opportunities, right? Catastrophizing before anything happens. Already saying, oh, well, that's not even going to work, or it would never work out if I did that. You know, I'm not even going to try. That's not even an option. I can't even imagine, right? But I feel like it's worth pushing yourself a little bit, taking a chance, whatever it is that's going on. When you find yourself at your next crossroads and you're thinking, this isn't even a reality, right? I don't even know what the heck, like, to think about this. Take the chance. Take the chance. Push yourself. See how high you can get there. You know, like, we are limited by our own thinking. That is the biggest, I'm not going to say enemy, but that is the biggest wall we have. That is going to be the most limiting thing in our life. Is because we tell ourselves constantly, that's not for me, I don't belong there, I am not good enough, I never, you know, I don't know if I'll ever be able to do this or that or whatever. You know, for me, recently, I've proven to myself, I never thought in my getting older, right, I'm getting into middle age, I thought, well, I'm never going to be fit, right, I'm never going to, I'm just, you know, I like to cook, I like to eat, I like to hang out, I like to listen to music and have fun and, you know, make sacred objects, talk to entities and other dimensions and that kind of thing. But I don't know about fitness so much. Well, in the last year, I started my fitness journey. And it's not so much about fitness, it's just like being well, feeling better. In general, waking up and being able to get myself up out of bed, right? And keep it moving. That's my big goal, right? But amazingly, I have done you know, and I'm not trying to sit here and like toot my own horn, but yeah, I am proud of myself. But more than that, I'm just shocked at the fact that I've spent so much of my life saying, oh, I won't be able to do that. I can't do that. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? You know, I would never be able to do that. Well, guess what? I can, and I will, and I will, and I can. Period. You know what I'm saying? Like, this has taught me I'm going to do what I can do. You know, I'm not going to sit here and tell myself anymore that I can't make something of my life, or I'm not going to be able to, you know, get the stamina and the agility and all of that stuff that I want for myself. I'm going to work until I get there. Period. You know? And I think that's really kind of the mindset here, is not letting these. Now, we're going to have symbols in our life. We're going to have synchronicities. We're going to have omens and, you know, things that are auspicious and things that are not, and so on and so forth. That does not mean it is written in stone. We have free will, supposedly, right? We have the ability to change the story. We are the creators of our universe. How we perceive it, how we interact with it, how we dwell within it. We are in charge. So make something of it, right? Do something with it. All right, let's see. We're going to take a look over here. And this one just reminds me of a face. Like the eyes, the nose, the mouth. So I feel like you were in a relationship at some point where they almost like I'm going to say it, and I don't like to use the narcissist or a sociopath, psychopath, and I don't like to use those, but sometimes you got it, right? This person treated you like they were a sociopath. I feel like there was a lot of what they call love bombing, and this is when somebody lays it on thick. Right? And it's like love, like calling you all the time, texting you. They want to be with you all the time. You're doing fun stuff. They're very attentive and sweet and so on and so forth. And then they get you, right? Because like, of course, you want to be treated well like that. And it stops because you're already in love with them or kind of under their control. Now, I don't know how prevalent this truly is, like somebody doing it intentionally. I think a lot of times we do this unintentionally with people. But this seems calculated, and I feel like it's almost like you were in a relationship. Everything seemed wonderful. It was really felt good, and you had a lot of passion and connection, and then suddenly they switched, right? And it was very cold, and your exit from one another's lives was painful, vindictive. This seems like a very predatory person. Thankfully, they are out of your life as far as I'm looking here, but it's almost kind of like they're a specter, right? Like I feel like you have a lot of anxiety around getting close to people because this particular relationship and situation made you feel like you were not a good judge of character, and that what you believed, because this person kind of led you to believe it, right? And it was completely false or misrepresented, totally makes you feel like you don't have the discernment to know if you can trust somebody or not. So I feel like this is something you're definitely working through, okay? And you know, we've all had these kinds of situations. That's the other thing, is that it can feel almost kind of shameful, because it's like kind of embarrassing that somebody got over on you. But it shouldn't be, because they're the ones living like that, and you're the one that has an open heart, and you're trying to be out here being a person that is living by love instead of, you know, taking advantage or just being grimy. And so you have nothing to feel embarrassed about or guilty or shameful or any of that stuff. But that's the thing about a person like this, is they're going to make you, they plant the seeds while this is happening, so that when they make their exit, when they do their dirt, it's going to make you feel like, well, this must be my fault. Or I shouldn't tell anybody about this because it's super embarrassing, or like it makes me look bad, or, you know, whatever. But that's all part of the game. Okay, so do not believe it. Don't believe it. Okay, here we go. 3 lucky numbers. We have number 4. Our first lucky number is number 4. 62. 39. Beautiful. 4. Oh shoot, I forgot what the other 2 are. I don't know. You can go back a little bit. I don't want to say the wrong ones. Sometimes I'm not good with the numbers or the letters or the words or speaking in general. All right, let's see. We have the gratitude affirmation cards, and I'm going to flip through, stop where it feels right. All right, here we go. Come on now. Oh, there we go. Astral web with our spider. I am held safely in a beautiful astral web of relationships. I am grateful for hundreds of people who serve my needs, from producing the food I eat to the making of clothes I wear. I give thanks for every hidden strand in the web of my life. Practice. Give thanks for 3+ acquaintances or strangers in your community who serve you, even if you have never met them. All right, I'm going to do mine. Number 1, the garbage collector. I haven't met him yet. He's amazing. I don't know who you are, buddy, but I appreciate you. You are wonderful. Thank you so much. Rain, snow, hot days, whatever. You show up. I appreciate you. Who else? Well, my daughter's teachers. Yesterday actually was Para Day. Para Appreciation, which they work in the classrooms, and they are kind of, you know, they're like the backup teachers. And I appreciate those 2 ladies that are helping shape my daughter and teach her. It is, I mean, there's not enough thanks in the world for teachers. And and the other one is my daughter's tutor, who she's working on math and reading, and my daughter has started reading for she started about, I don't know, 6 months ago. And well, if you know my husband and I, you know, we are huge into books and reading in general. And so to me, somebody teaching another person how to read is like giving them the keys to the kingdom, right? You can do so much with being able to read and explore and build upon, you know, all of this knowledge that's just there for you. So these are the people I'm going to thank. They keep life glorious over here. And, you know, I only hope that my family provide some kind of something positive for their lives as well in some way. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, Cancer, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you because I do. If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. Shout out to the people that you want to thank in the comments. There's got to be one, right? At least one person. And yeah, we'll talk in a few days. Love you. Good night.